Join us for an enlightening experience where you will gain a deeper understanding of the purpose and essence of opening your eyes. This is your chance to enhance self-awareness and personal growth with a shift in perception that provides a fresh outlook on life. Embrace the journey from consciousness to superconsciousness. Coming live by Barrett Kunyan.
Well, we're running a bit late this evening, and unfortunately, I think Storm is having some technical issues where he is at the moment, and he's having connection problems. So my gut feeling is saying that we may have to reschedule this connection. It's such a great shame because I was really looking forward to it. So, but what can I do? It was going to be a beautiful conversation on the title of Awakening to Presence, but I will share with you the video that my son and we did a couple of weeks ago. Here goes.
Why do we open our eyes? Is it merely to see, or is it to awaken to something profoundly deeper? We stand at the cusp of a monumental transformation of human consciousness, a shift from being bound by time to immersing ourselves in the eternal now, from the incessant chatter of our thoughts to the silence and purity of consciousness itself. This journey begins by tuning into our soul, embracing our intuition, and stepping into the highest version of ourselves. Each time we close and open our eyes, we have the opportunity to embody this transformation. Imagine now being in a state of gratitude, saying thank you to the universe, embracing independence, not seeking salvation from an external savior or guru. Recognize your intrinsic value and witness the shift to a new paradigm. A paradigm where ownership transforms into guardianship. Its core principles: do no harm, and not imposing on the freedom of others. In this world, we leave behind a supercharged footprint, uplifting the matter around us by simply being. Imagine the left brain's logic and the right brain's creativity, harmonizing, neutralizing. Together they guide us to take true organic ownership of our vessel, connecting us to the real Wi-Fi, the cosmic energy that envelopes us, invisible yet omnipresent. In this unity, in this I am presence, we find our true essence. It's a state of being where actions and words are unnecessary. We simply exist in harmony, tethered to the cosmos, radiating peace, love, and transformation. Why do we open our eyes? Perhaps to truly see for the first time, to be present, to be conscious, to be awakened.
Well, I hope the video was uplifting, and my sincere apologies for this evening to all the viewers out there. We shall reschedule this for another time. So in the meantime, as we're saying that, I think, hold on. I think,
yes, sir. Jump out,
oh,
jump out.
I was just saying to the viewers that
Go left. Thank you.
this isn't going to happen, and here you are. My goodness. I hope the viewers will come back, because the numbers were going up, Storm, and then the numbers went down because I was saying to everyone, I don't think it's going to happen this evening. But here we are. Great stuff. Well, welcome.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
The lighting's
Can you hear me, Barrett?
Yeah. The hearing is fine, my lovely brother, but what I'm finding, it's on a dark side.
The lights on?
That'd be great if you can.
Yeah, I'm thinking just getting some lighting on.
Thank you so much.
Otherwise I may shift to the left. Let's see if this works. Right there.
There we are. See you now. Well, that was
It's okay,
that
thank
was
you.
incredible. I was
Thank you
just
for your
about
help.
to. Yeah, well, thanks, Maria, as well. Thank you, Maria, for assisting. Are you frozen or because I think he moved? Maybe looks like the
Pleasure,
screen has
Barrett. We've
frozen.
got a delay. So slow.
Okay. Well, look, brother, we'll do the best we can. With what we're dealing with here. It's one of those occasions, unfortunately. It can be a little bit frustrating for everyone. Looks like the signal's gone now. Oh. Ah, you're back. It's not a laughing matter, but what else can we do? Can you hear me at all, brother Storm?
I can hear you now. I can hear you, Barrett.
Right. Thank you. We'll be very delicate with the signals. We will be
Yes, we will tiptoe.
exactly. We're going to be very, very right. I'd like to introduce you to. Thank you for coming to the Bioactivator platform.
Can you put the lighting on again, please?
And I'd like to thank Jesse Howe from the Missing Link because thanks to him, I managed to, your divine energy that day was a 4-hour show. My goodness, that was like not 1 second did I find that messages that you put out there at all boring. It was unbelievable information that you were putting out there. Absolutely incredible. So, brother, if you don't mind me asking, whereabouts in the UK are you? Sort of, what region are you at the moment?
So we're in the infamous, famous, depends how you look at it, Wiltshire region, where
Right here.
folks will know about
Crops.
the crop circles. Is that the correct way up? Crop
Yes,
circles have been happening around this region for 30 odd years. So what are they? Well, by the autumn, when the crops grow, these geometries appear in the crops, and people from all around the world have been monitoring the situation for probably longer than 30 to 40 years, but it's really picked up momentum in the past 30 or 40 years. And I'm just going to show you out the window because people who have been here will know this place. This is the campsite in the famous Barge Inn, and that little in the background you'll see people very well. It's iconic. Now, just along there beyond that, there's a canal that runs this way. If you can see it, doing the best I can for you. And this is the campsite. And of course, the black van is mine. So this place is known the whole of Wiltshire for the crop circles. Now, as I say, a lot of people believe that aliens, and they are geometry in the crops. There's a whole nother side of belief that believe it's the military creating geometry, utilizing technology. So we have these two fields and of belief, excuse the pun, these two fields of belief. But there is a third, and the third says that it's just man-made, created by locals to bring on interest and tourists to the place. Where I like in the military testing microwave energy and DEWs. Route, we believe in aliens, hence aliens can be used in Operation Bluebeam, the alien agenda in the near future that may be played out if they get the chance. So that's where we are. This place is iconic, Barrett. the flying over and aeroplanes taking risk for the aerial view, etc., etc. So the crop circles, this is crop circle par excellence. We're right here in the hub.
Excellent, brother.
Over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that, brother. Particularly this area which you just described, is there a particular reason why you're is there a gathering at the moment? Is there an important gathering there at the moment? Is there something significant happening at the moment?
Excellent, Barrett. Good question. So at the moment of year 21st of March, every year in this area. So this year, the 20th, because this year is a leap year. So February had 29 days. So that was interesting that they kind of moved it one day to compensate for the leap year. Kind of shows you how time means nothing really, and only cycle means something. Because they don't work by time. Time sort of fits to sort of manipulate the cycles. The cycles never change. They can't. So what we came out here for, or what I came out here for, and all the people, I say we because there's a massive gathering of what we call family, like-minded people who arrive in all different vehicles of travel, different vans and things, and park along a long stretch of road at what's called Stonehenge. So at the iconic Stonehenge, every equinox, spring and autumn, and this one was the spring, we park up, and in the morning, and you've got to get the date right because sometimes it shifts, so get there a day early if you're going to celebrate it. In the morning, the druids, who still hold on to the ancient druidic wisdom and practices, rituals through the year, demand that at the solstices and the equinoxes, 4 times a year, they enter the stones for free without paying for 2 hours from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in those mornings, on those mornings. The rest of the time, unfortunately or fortunately, depending who you are, from 8 till 5, buses arrive from the center 1 mile down the road, the visitor center, with tourists visiting, and all respects to them, visiting the stones, paying to walk around, and nobody else is allowed in unless you're paying tourists. You're not even allowed really too near. So it's a great gift, and it's been fought for by the druids and the what you would call hippies or people of the stones. It's a fight to keep these privileges. Now they used to be common ritualistic behavior, normal. Now they're privileges to enter on these 4 times of the year, so people do. And as I say, the cycles are being held by this ritual, the correct cycles of what they believe are the cycles of nature, not time by the dates by the Gregorian calendar. So that's where we were for the last 4 days in Stonehenge, just celebrating the energy of the equinox. And what we see as the spring equinox is the beginning of the year, particularly April, meaning or deriving from the Latin aperete, which means to open. So the opening month of the year begins with April Fool's Day, which is the trick upon you that now New Year is January, when New Year was the first April is the opening day of spring and the opening of the new year. And it's obvious because that's when the seeds begin to open, and then they go through a cycle of growth, bearing fruit and dying off, becoming compost, seeding, and then opening. And so cyclically, by nature, it's clearly obvious that April, spring, the beginning of the opening of all life, is the beginning of the year. And of course, when you go into that deeply, you find the manipulation of the calendar that is now accepted as a cyclical calendar, a timeline to be lived by, has been harshly manipulated. And the way it's been manipulated is incredible. The calendar should simply be like the lunar calendar, like the old sun calendars or cyclical calendars, a 13 moon calendar, or a 13 cycle calendar, a 13 sun calendar. Nowadays, of course, it's altered to a 13 moon calendar. And I'm just stretching over to get this for you. Let's just bring this over here for you. I'll show you a diagram to explain. So what we've always had up until now is a 13 moon calendar. In other words, when you look into the sky, you will observe 13 moons over 1 year. Let's get this right. Come into the screen. I'll come this side. Is that the right way up, or are we upside down? Whoops, we're upside down. Okay, we're in. Is that looking all right to you there?
It's not too bad. I mean, we can't sadly zoom in
Let's
properly.
bring it in on the...
That's better.
Let's bring this in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we just look at the one side for now. I'll just get my mirror imaging right, folks. There we go. And tilt it this way. Okay. So this is what the native people, or called the Native American people, utilize as a 13 moon calendar. This one over here. So this is the cycle. 13 moons of 28 days each. So 13 times 28. Here we have 13. Let's put it this side so I can see. There we go. It's much easier if I come from here for myself. 13 over here. 13 moons. The names of them by the native people. The wolf moon, etc., etc. Pink. I'm just going to make this bigger. If I touch this, does it go larger? Just increase the screen. Oh, there we go. Right. Now, 13 times 28 is 364, not 365. So, let's bring you back. So, we have a day missing. If the calculation over here is 13 times 28, making 364, that's not 365. So we're missing a day. So if we switch over to the Gregorian calendar, you can see that they've taken, it's a 12-month calendar, not a 13-month like this one over here. Let's just hold this, and anybody can pause on it later and look at it. At least you got the information then. Right. So instead of a 13 times 28 calendar, you have a 12 times 28 in February and 31 and 30 on every other month. Why? Because the 13th month has been stolen and sprinkled amongst the other months. Hence, when you add up all the days extra from a 28 day, like February is the only genuine month, the Aquarian month is only a genuine month. When you add on 28 plus 3, you get 31. When you add on 28 plus 2, you get 30. So all the rest of the months are 30 and 31. So you can collect 2 days and 3 days from every other month. When you add that up, it's 29 days. So you find your lost month of 28 days, but you have this one extra day. And that's because that's an added day to put us out of time. Just like this calendar as a missing month to put us out of time. So these are cycles to put us out of time. And they hide information because if this calendar over here on this side was called a 13 calendar, and this was called a 12 calendar, you would recognize that one is missing. From the 13 calendar, oh, now it's become a 12 calendar. So they hide it. They don't call it a 12 calendar. They don't name it month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. No. They call the first month Enero, January. After January, so June, the March, the Roman god. They're all Roman gods. January, February, March, April is to open, May is a Roman god, Junius is a Roman god, Julius is Caesar, Augustus is Augustus Caesar, and we're on to September, and here's where the mind thing comes in. Sept, it means 7 in Latin. So September is the 7th month. Oct means 8. The October is the 8th month. Novo means 9. November is the 9th month. And Deci means 10. Deci is the 10th month. But it's not. It's the 12th month. That's because the Romans used to use a 10-month calendar or 10-moon calendar, a decimal calendar. But then it got changed to the Gregorian calendar, to the 12 calendar, and they added January and February. They were the last two added. So everything you have to shift along 2 spaces from the beginning. So the 10th month, Deci, December, is now the 12th. Can you see how that calendar cannot be anything real or utilized because it's just a manipulation of numbers in the wrong place and Roman gods, and to hide the fact that the 13th month has been sprinkled amongst here, and that this is the true cycle and the mathematics of that. 13 times 28, 364. Now you ask, I'm just going to try to get you back here. You ask, oh, there you are, thank you. You ask, where does that one day, why is that one day there? Why have they told us that every cycle is 365 days instead of 364? Well, they've done that for the past 2,000 years. They've added one day. So the calculation is that at this point, we are 2,023 days out of our natural cycle. So instead of every time we went 364, we went one day extra, 365. And we're supposed to then revolve 364, but we went 365. So now we're 2 days behind. Every time we revolve forward 365 instead of 364, we get 3 days behind, 4 days behind. We keep getting back and back and back like a big backlog of days, 2023 to be exact. But then there's been a leap year for all that time. So you've still got an extra day every 4 years to add on. So that's 500, about 5 days or so. When you put all together, it comes to approximately 8 years. Now, this was the calculation done in 2017 by myself. So when you take that 8 years at 2017, when you took that 8 years and you add it on to the so-called 2012 cataclysmic date, it shifts you to 2020, when the cataclysmic event really happened across the board, i.e. that. So the calculation and the actual experience in reality, because nothing really happened in 2012, maybe some astrological alignments perhaps, but nothing really happened. It really happened in 2020, and we all knew about it quite clearly. So the difference is incredible. And that's why, because of the timing, the cycle, the cyclical timing, and their artificial timing is completely different and purposefully agenda-based to put you out of time, out of your cycles. so that you cannot align with the energies of nature, so that you're more aligning with the energies of what they call Babylon or civilization. So that's the problem with the moon and the moon calendar, that it's putting you out of your cycle particularly. And then it's way deeper than that, and goes into the feminine energy. We are looking at the moon. We are looking at the moon, or the woman of our realm, the woman of humanity, are looking at the moon and using the moon to calculate the menstrual cycle and giving the energy to the moon called the goddess energy, having the moon as their goddess and having a relationship. But that truly is slightly dysfunctional, because the moon doesn't reflect sunlight. So it's not ultraviolet light reflected even that you're getting. It's a cold light. It's a depressive light. And it's a false light. It's a projection. It's not real, and it shouldn't be there. And it wasn't always there. The moon has not always been in our realm, and all the ancient texts that, if they are real, if they are based in truth, tell you that the moon was towed in to this reality, to this realm, towed into this system, created here as headquarters to monitor what goes on. It's not necessary in this realm. This realm is nature, Mother Nature, and functions simply with the anode and cathode, positive and negative, sun and earth. The moon doesn't really have a place. And the moon mimics the orbital cycle of the sun. Cycle, but the hours are longer, so it appears to the earthly manipulated cycles of 28 days, it appears like 28 days, but it's really 26 days. And we'll go into that with the relative explanation on time in a second, just to explain that. But let's just stick with the moon and the sun for a second. So the moon has nothing to do with the program. The sun is doing exactly the identical cycle to what the moon has artificially copied. And all the goddess energy, all the beauty and all the connection to the sun, the giver of all life, to Mother Nature, fauna and flora, of which we are fauna and the woman are fauna, that connection is broken and has been redirected to the moon, HQ of our controllers. And that is a serious issue. We really, really need all the women of the world to reconnect their menstrual cycle, their goddess energy, back to the sun, the giver of all life, not to the moon, the controller of all life. And that there, I believe, is a real critical factor for women to take aboard in the most humblest way. And I would discuss it with pleasure further. So that's really, yeah, that's really an important factor about the part the moon is playing in literally robbing human consciousness of its intuitive inputs from its feminine divine basis, which we desperately need in the realm right now. Maximum divine feminine intuition. But that's the agenda. That's why the women have been misdirected to send all their energy to headquarters and not to honor the source of all life. It's exactly the same as, I believe it was Rockefeller, correct me if I'm wrong, created women's liberation and brought all the women, gave them the opportunity to enter the offices and take all the jobs that so-called men were doing to become equal. Well, there's another agenda, because you've taken all the intuitive psychic woman, the feminine divine energy, that should be intuiting and downloading, passing that information to the men who then that out. They're not doing that anymore. They don't have time. They have work. They are now working equal to men. There goes all the intuitive, psychological, intuitive psychic download, the feminine divine downloads that need to be passed on. So one, the females don't know what to do, and two, nor do the men. So nobody knows what to do anymore. I met a man recently and he said to me, "What do I do?" And I thought, well, why are you asking me? You know, you should know, but I don't blame him now. It's difficult to do because our instructions are not coming through from the greater divine mother for the men to carry out. So everybody is lost. So this was a trick. This was a corporate industrial black rock trick to put all women equal to men. Sure, they're equal anyway. They don't have to jump in the office to be equal. We're all equal, man. You've got your
Yeah.
side, we've got our side, and we all work together as one consciousness. So that's about what the moon's doing. The moon is sucking that energy, same as the women's liberation agenda or any agenda, is sucking the energy of a group called humanity or section of a group.
Yeah, thank you for that. But Jesse Howe, the missing link, he was asking a question: why is Moon on 28
Love
days?
Jesse, love to see you.
Women's cycle, if not meant that way. Do you understand the question there? It's
Absolutely, absolutely. Jesse, lovely to see you, man. Lots of love to you and all your audience out there, bud. It's a mimic. It's a mimic, Jesse. The sun is on a 26-day cycle, but the hours are a little longer. So it's not a shorter, or it's not 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 12 hours. But it appears as 28 days if you use a 12. So if you use a 12 calculation, you get 28 days. If you use a 13 calculation, you get 26 days, but the cycles are the same. So the moon was put in there to artificially mimic this, so that we would just shift attention to the moon and not notice any difference. Identical to the fact that the pharmaceutical industries, they've never created any artificial pharmaceuticals ever. All they've done is found the plant that does the healing, copied it, and then boosted it times 2, times 5, times 10. You always see that on there. They just boost it because they can. It's artificial. You just 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. Once you got it, you boost it. And they've made pills and things that seem super effective. But every single patent comes from the first. Pharmaceuticals have just artificially patented everything from nature and then just times it by to boost it up to make it look good, same as the moon. It's an exact overlay, so you won't notice. That's why, of course, it overlays the sun perfectly and blocks it out just so that they, as a threat, every now and then. I don't see these solar eclipses as a positive. I see them as a threat of, we can switch your sun off whenever we want. And 4.5 minutes, no problem. We can turn that into 4 years if we like. I see that. There's no mean coincidence that the moon covers the sun. And by the way, both of those are in our realm. They're in the realm. They're under the dome, the sun and the moon. The stars are a projection on the liquid part of the firmament before it becomes solid into blue ice. That's just a projection from the black sun, from the center through what we call the aurora borealis, the hole in the center, the north, what you call the North Pole, but it's not, it's the center pole. But the sun and the moon are really important. And if you want to prove this to yourself, that the sun is not 93 million miles away, which is just ridiculous. I mean, they could have said something less. It's obvious. When you look at the sun, especially at a sunset, especially when there's a few clouds to make a filter, and you get the sun's rays, come triangulating down. It's very simple mathematics to look at the extremes of those rays that come down, the extremes of those rays, the ends of where they touch the earth, and triangulate them back to the sun. There's a calculation, there's a triangulation calculation there, and you will know the distance. And I can tell you it's nowhere near even 500,000 miles. It comes into the thousands, nothing more than that. So, and that's clearly obvious because if the sun was 93 million miles away, you could never ever have rays of sun because they would go right past the earth. You would never see rays of sun. That's impossible. So we need to realize a thing, and that's that. The only information we have of outer space, space, planets, universes, solar systems, anything beyond the realm, beyond the dome, the firmament, beyond, is from NASA. Now, NASA means to deceive. It's directly from the Hebrew word nasa or nasha. They both mean to deceive. Thing it says is a lie. Craft, a spaceship, a rocket, whatever it is, takes off. You know, and you watch it always do this, and then obviously it's the ocean somewhere, perhaps Bermuda Triangle or whatever, as space junk. But not on the same day. There's time, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, who knows? Well, here's what I understand is occurring. These submarines, that's what they are taken off by rocket booster through the air until they connect into the liquid firmament. Keeping in mind the water table, of course, there's the oceans, lakes, and rivers, but on the land, the water table is only just below. When it rains, the water comes up, and soon you have puddles and then flooding. So we know we're walking on water, literally, it's just a bit of dirt between. In the atmosphere, it's H2O, it's water vapor. It's not dry, there's water vapor. That's how you have humidity everywhere. Inside us, we're a cellular being. Every cell needs to be turgid with water. Otherwise, it's a free radical. It becomes dehydrated, free radical, and is ejected. It must be turgid and functional. Therefore, we're 100% water because every cell makes up everything from bone to blood. When we go up into the atmosphere, we get clouds full of liquid water and becomes rain when it's too heavy and falls. And as we go to the next layer, we hit the liquid firmament. Then it freezes at 450 degrees Celsius, and we have the outer blue ice firmament, and beyond that, crystalline, and beyond that is up to you what you believe. We can just pause there. So what NASA is doing is taking off, entering the liquid of the dome. They're entering the liquid firmament and spending time in the liquid firmament just like they would in the ocean, experiencing and investigating the liquid and the ice and both. And when they're finished, they're dropping out and they're landing in the ocean. That's why NASA trains underwater. You wouldn't train underwater to go to outer space. That's completely and utterly different environment. You would train underwater to enter a liquid firmament. That makes correct logical sense. So we're in a water environment entirely. So that's basically what Nashi is doing. And if you want to really take that to the extreme, because it and you can move the SA around and you can almost get the word, but you must get a T onto you. You minus T on. So then we go to Houston, T minus 1, T minus 2. There's your T. These people are playing. It's a cryptic game on an evil level. So yeah, NASA to deceive, Satan to deceive, the greatest of
My sincere apologies. We're having quite a bit of interruption with the signal. Let's see if Storm can come back. No, it doesn't look good at the moment, but we should be a bit patient. Nope, we've lost him. We just gotta, unfortunately, bear with it. I feel that we would have to do another schedule reference to this beautiful information that we're getting from Storm, but he's back in. Let's see what we can do now.
Your help. Sorry, we dropped out there.
No,
We're
brother,
back.
yeah. Thank you for coming back. Of course. What I've noticed is, well, we've got some feedback from some of our viewers, and they were kind of saying there's a bit of interruption with the audio. I mean, what we can do in the foreseeable future, maybe we can do another rescheduled version, or I can, because this information is phenomenal, and it would be great if people can, with no interruption, so to speak. But I was going to say, brother, in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, are
Yeah.
you going? Will you be relocating to different parts of the UK? I'm just thinking where we can get a bit more better
Absolutely.
bandwidth. Yeah, to have better signal at some point. It'd be good,
You
because this information is really
you
good.
give me
And
if you give me a day, a time, maybe in 2 days' time or whatever suits you, yeah, I'll make
yeah,
sure I'm at a strong Wi-Fi.
fantastic, brother, fantastic. I mean, people are getting the gist. People are getting the a lot of your powerful messages, but because it kind of a little bit, but please continue. I didn't want to interrupt too much with the flow.
Mm.
But yeah, I was going to say, if I may, do you feel? I mean, I feel that intuitively there's going to be a major shift. There's going to be an absolute correction. Do you not feel this as we speak? There's something's coming into alignment. I think this year particularly, I feel it's going to be a bit of a launch pad. But how does that sit with you, Storm?
Mm. Yeah, okay, let's deal with that. I don't want to be negative. I just want to be realistic. So, and I probably got a good explanation for you of that. So, let's take it astrologically. From the astrological side at the moment, folks are talking about the Aquarian age. So, if there are any questions you want to ask that come up, just ask them. I'm not reading the questions. I'm just staying with the flow pattern. But please run those questions by me whenever you like.
Thank you.
Um, where we're just there. You see, I jumped out of the flow pattern.
No, that's fine. No, because
Um,
I was creating a rather rosy picture for reference to some kind of realignment, or a new paradigm as
Thank
such.
you.
Yeah.
So thank you, Barrett. So the astrologists calling it the Aquarian age that we're entering. Okay, now that's been called the golden age, and looking at the spiritual future of balance and prosperity and health and all this beauty, and that's fantastic. The thing is, on the other side, that's Western astrology. On the other side, from India, the Ayurveda, that teach Ayurveda, they work with the yugas as their cycles instead of zodiac signs, yugas, and the yugas are the times, the sections of times on the so-called or so explained galactic clock. Let's just say of a 26,000 year cycle. So on a 26,000 year cycle, there are yugas. Now, we have just ended, and anybody can check this culture with the Hindu culture. The Hindus, the Vedics tell you that they end Kali Yuga. Now, Kali Yuga is the dark ages, the destruction ages, the dark stuff. And it is always darkest just before the dawn, but it's never the golden age. You don't go through the dark ages and enter the golden age. That doesn't make any sense. You don't sleep all night and then wake up in perfected golden age. And no, you need to wake up and create the golden age. So the Vedics are saying that this is the lowest level of consciousness. And all my studies say exactly the same thing. We are at the bottom of the barrel. We are nowhere near entering a golden age. We just came out of night. It is now the sun is just beginning to rise. We need to create for the next 13,000 years a golden age to live in and enjoy. So yep.
I was sorry to. Can Storm give us any information about the solar eclipse, 8th of April? What will this mean for us?
What it will definitely mean is that for a period of time, some say 4.5 minutes, some are expecting, we'll see. But always an eclipse is simply the controllers blotting out the source of all light, showing that they can. That's it for me. I don't buy into Western astrology, and I can show you graphs in a minute as to why and what that means. But go for the question if you have one.
No, that's fine, brother. I
Shall
think
we?
that you, yeah, if you could,
Let's flow.
please, yeah.
Flow with the charts. Let's show you. So let's get it like this. So if you see at the top, you'll see that we have 12 signs. You can read that there. And you see at the bottom, we have 13 signs, and the one is missing. Replace sign. So the sign is missing in the 12. This is 12. The 12 signs are linearly in a linear form. This is 13 signs in a linear form, starting from, this side, this way. 13, 12, linearly. So now I'll show you that secularly. So here we have a 12 sign zodiac. You can see one's missing. Now we're going to put it in. Sign has been replaced. Serpentania. Some call it Orpheus. Now you have 13 signs. Now, this is half of the correct zodiacal cycle, only half. Notice the direction of flow, and let's just deal with retrograde right here, right now. The direction of flow, as we all know, is from Aries through Taurus. Oh, if I'm going to have to follow this like this, it's working back to front. So let's go there. Aries, Taurus around the zodiac, getting to Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So we've flowed through Aquarius. We flowed through 1,000 years of the Christ, Jesus. That was the Pisces area, time. And then we've flowed through 1,000 years of Serpentania. And that's where we are now, about to enter Aries again. Now I'll show you this in its full form. This is half. Okay, this is half. Now, before I show you in a full form, let me ask you something. Western astrology deals with retrograde. So we start at Aries, we go around through Taurus and all the way around. We come through Aquarius, through Pisces, and then Western astrology tells you we turn around. We go back through Pisces to the beginning, because you can't just take 1,000 years. Or we took 1,000 years to come through Pisces, the time of Christ. We took 1,000 years to go back through Pisces, the time of I don't know who, to bring us to now 2,000 years. And then we're entering the Aquarian age. The cycle goes this way. Now you want to stop it over here, jump 1,000 years and enter the age, because it suits you. Western astrologers can't do that. That's ridiculous. That's not even part of a formula. So let me really show you what's going on, because they're missing half the picture. Now, just before I show you, the reason why I know this information, well, which side are we going? The reason why I know this information to be true is because I found a formula in my sabbatical, let's call it, that many of the systems based on 12 are missing one unit, whether it be the frequential system, the electromagnetic spectrum, music, the musical scale, the chromatic octave of music, astrology, time, reality, chakras, the moon. Many places I found systems of 12 that used to be systems of 13. That's the reason why 13 is made to be unlucky, and you don't see it on doors, airplanes, trains, etc., because they do not want you to remember the number 13, on which light and sound are based in the chromatic octave. The chromatic octave in expression in this realm on the piano is the first 8 white keys and the 5 black keys. The 8 white keys are the C major scale, and the 5 black keys are the pentatonic scale. C major scale and pentatonic scale together, 8 and 5, make 13, and they make the chromatic octave of music from the chromatic octave of sound and light, on which all the realm is based. So wherever I found 12, I looked for the missing unit, popped it in, the missing key, just like here, the missing key, the missing 13th sign, and popped it in. And as soon as I do that, I see the whole. I see the whole for the first time. I don't see 12, I see 13. I see the full whole. And then I use the law, as it is above, so it is below. What is now called as above, so below. But the original is, as it is above, so it is below. And I will explain the concept of that when we get to that. So when you put in the missing unit, number 13, to the system's 12, you find one whole unit. And then you found half a unit. Then you must mirror the image. Before. Now then, let's use an explanation with this. As we had before in a moment ago, the 1, so we've mirrored it and made 2. That's all we've done. We've just made 2 of these.
Oh, let's come back.
So continue. Can you hear me?
Yes, brother, we can, but it's a great shame because you're giving such incredible information, and the the audio is a little
Is it
bit
in?
up and down. Yeah, it's what I feel is that thank you. I mean, it would be worth our while to reschedule another one and get the clap, because this is such incredible information, brother. We're kind of
So
spoiling it because yeah.
I'll finish this and then we
Okay.
will do it again with pleasure. I'll run through all of these deeply just for people to grasp.
Sure.
I'll do it with sign language. So this is 2 parts, okay? Aries, Taurus, follow the arrows. The crossing sign, the X sign, Serpentania, Pisces, Serpentania, Aries again. Serpentania, Aries. This is perfect. It works every time. This is the full cycle of the zodiac. And retrograde is explained. This is anti-clockwise, and this is clockwise, retrograde. That is retrograde explained correctly. Doesn't reverse anywhere. And these two, this sits on top of this. It's one codon, and there are 13 of them. 26 singulars, 13 pairs in a codon, like the 13-strand DNA, where one was disconnected by the telomeres. So we leave it at that.
Wow. Oh, that's incredible
So
information.
sorry about the audio.
No, I mean, yeah, I'll be in touch in the next couple of days, brother, and just, just to test the signal and stuff like that. And it would be an honor to reconnect. And because it's kind of,
With pleasure.
yeah, I mean, you're such an incredible, there's presence about you. It's like, it's such an honor to be sharing space with you,
Thank
brother.
you.
And also we'll get the chance next time for you to promote your incredible books, which I'm looking forward to receiving in the foreseeable future, and I will be gladly sharing and putting it out there, because you really are a phenomenon, and I appreciate your massive contribution to humanity as a whole. But I
Thanks,
hate to.
Barrett. You too.
Thank you, brother. I mean, there's lots more to talk about, and in due course, when we were talking about possible future workshops, and
Lots more.
I mean, but it hurts me to cut it short, but I think it would be justifiable due to the interruptions we're getting with the audio. So, but we will definitely be rescheduling and looking forward. And in the meantime, please keep well, and sending you much love here from coming live from Bulgaria, brother. So much love, and
Beautiful.
peace and love.
Lots
And
of love, bud.
thank you, brother. See you soon.
Bioactivator would like to thank you for your kind support and donations. Through Barrett Tunian's guardianship of this platform, his activation of truth
Yeah, thank you.
harmonizes,
Thank you, Barrett and audience. Love you.
neutralizes, and unblocks the meridians that connect, balance, and purify all that comes in contact. Do no harm is the key that fully opens the heart's voice to be in the union of the I Am presence, and will represent every living organism on the planet whose voice would otherwise not be heard. Remember, the truth will set you free. Do no harm, cause no loss, and do not impose upon the freedom of others. Love, light, and breath.